Hi, today we're talking about reconsideration of bills. When a bill in the California legislature fails passage either in committee or on the floor of the Assembly or Senate, it can be granted reconsideration. The Legislative Counsel's Office tells us that reconsideration means it's a motion giving the opportunity to take another vote on a matter that was previously decided in a committee hearing or during a floor session. This is an important rule because it provides a legislator another opportunity to return to his or her colleagues seeking a proverbial second bite at the apple. So after a committee has voted on a bill, reconsideration may be granted only once. Pursuant to Joint Rule 62A, reconsideration may be granted within 15 legislative days or prior to the interim study joint recess, whichever occurs first. A vote on reconsideration may not be taken without the same notice required to set a bill for hearing, unless that reconsideration vote is taken at the same meeting at which the vote to be reconsidered was taken and the author is present for it. An action taken by a committee may not be reconsidered except by a majority vote of the members of the committee, although reconsideration is usually granted by unanimous consent as a courtesy to a bill's author. Now, there are some differences between the Assembly and Senate processes. In the state Assembly, a motion to reconsider on the next legislative date must be made on the same day that the vote to be reconsidered was taken. On the Assembly floor, no motion to reconsider can be adopted unless it receives at least 41 votes of Assembly members. And upon making a motion for reconsideration, the question or the measure to be reconsidered is placed upon the unfinished business file in the Assembly daily file, and no further action is taken prior to the next legislative day, absent a suspension of the rules. A motion to reconsider, which is neither taken up nor continued, then lapses after a specified time. Once reconsideration has lapsed, the question or the legislative measure returns to the same position it held to the motion being made. And when reconsideration is granted, the matter to be reconsidered resumes its position before the Assembly voted on it. And so an author could, in fact, take up a bill immediately after reconsideration is granted. In the Senate, the procedure differs slightly. So a motion to reconsider any question may be made by any senator on the day on which the original vote was taken. And the motion may be considered on the day it's made or on the succeeding legislative day, but it cannot be further postponed without the concurrence of 3/4 of the measure of the membership, which is 30 senators. In the Senate, bills may be reconsidered by a majority vote, even though the bill required an original 2/3 vote for passage. Constitutional amendments that are adopted can be reconsidered by 14 senators, while constitutional amendments that have been defeated require 2/3 vote, 27 votes on the Senate floor for reconsideration. One other item on the Senate rules: on the day on which a vote has been taken on any question, a motion to reconsider the vote may be made by any state senator, and reconsideration is only granted once. The motion may be considered on the day it was made or on a succeeding legislative day. Now, just to conclude, reconsideration, I think, can serve as a valuable tool to legislators and even interest groups in order to allow perhaps modifications or amendments to a measure to address why a measure initially failed passage. For those opposed to the measure, however, it means obviously remaining vigilant to ensure that the bill doesn't get revived in a manner that results in their continued opposition. But reconsideration is an important provision of the legislative process, even though it is not often used in committee or on the floors.